Tourism, the proverbial bread and butter of our little island, continues to make strides in providing for and empowering our people. Coming up between the pages today, we show you how young people are benefiting through the Tourism Enhancement Fund's Summer Internship Program. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. As always, we have an informative show lined up just for you. We get things started with the news right after this message.
Hey there. So, did you know that plastic bags were introduced to supermarkets in 1977? The production of plastic bags are toxic to the environment as the process involves the use of petroleum, natural gas, and other chemicals. 160,000 plastic bags are used globally every second, and 5 trillion are produced yearly. Side by side, they can encircle the world 7 times. Plastic degrades after 700 years and will only fully degrade in 1,000. This means that all the plastic that has ever been produced has not degraded. It remains toxic even after it breaks down. 13 million metric tons of plastic end up in the ocean every year, and at least 800 species worldwide are affected by marine debris, of which 80% is plastic and is mistaken for food by turtles, fish, and other marine life. Research has shown that fish caught for human consumption contain plastic nanoparticles. An average family will use 60 plastic bags on 4 visits to the supermarket, and only 1 to 3% are recycled worldwide. Play your part in advancing your welfare and that of the earth. Support the ban on plastic. Reduce, reuse, recycle, and get eco-friendly bags for you and your 1877. Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, August 27. Government will be spending $195 million or 2.8 billion Jamaican dollars to begin work on the South Coast Highway Improvement Project by the end of September. This initial segment will entail the rehabilitation of the 14-kilometer stretch of roadway from Harborview in Kingston to Cedar Valley in St. Thomas. China Harbour Engineering Company Limited, CHEC, is the major contractor and has subcontracted the work to 3 local companies. On Monday, government signed a 3-year contract with CHEC and the 3 subcontractors in a ceremony at Jamaica House. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says this project is part of government's strategic development plan for unlocking growth prospects in the East.
We're not just making this massive investment of $195 million because we want to put down a lovely carpet to Morant Bay and into Eastern Portland. Yes, we do. But in terms of the wider development plan, we have historically pushed development to the west. We need now to push the development to the east.
The section from Harborview to Yallahs Bridge will be widened to 4 lanes to include new and improved alignments. The existing main roads from Yallahs Bridge to Port Antonio and from Morant Bay to Cedar Valley will be rehabilitated. Some realignments will also be done on select sections of these corridors. Prime Minister Holness says once the rehabilitation of the dual carriageway is completed, there are plans to begin the development of housing solutions in the area.
So the government is going to be moving with the NHT and the National Housing Agency to start developments on lands that we own there or have intentions on. And we call on developers to start looking now to the east to develop the lands that are now made viable.
The project, which is being financed by a $384 million loan from China Exim Bank, has been divided into 2 segments. The other segment entails the western section of Highway 2000 from Maypen in Clarendon to Williamsfield in Manchester. It is to be undertaken at a later date. The economy grew by an estimated 1% in the April to June 2019 quarter when compared to the corresponding quarter of 2018. The estimate was released by the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, during its quarterly press briefing on Monday. Director General Dr. Wayne Henry says this outturn extends the positive growth trend to 18 consecutive quarters over the last 4.5 years.
The outturn for the quarter largely reflected 1. Increased capacity utilization at some industrial plants, such as the Petrojam refinery. 2. Increased external demand, which drove output in some export industries, for example, hotels and restaurants. 3. Increased domestic demand, facilitated by higher levels of employment, which facilitated growth in industries such as WR trim, finance and insurance services, manufacturing. And 4, the continued positive impact of the resumption of operations at Alpart, Jamaica's largest alumina refinery, albeit at a slower rate of growth.
According to Dr. Henry, further growth was hindered by drought conditions, which negatively impacted the agriculture sector, as well as the winding down of several major infrastructure projects. 600 unattached young people will receive ICT training on the government's Technology Advancement Program, TAP, this September. Minister of Science, Energy and Technology, Favor Williams, says the training will include digital literacy, data collection and analysis, and social media management.
The world as we know it is changing rapidly, and our children and young must be equipped with particular skill sets and competencies in STEM and ICT so that they can take their place in the world.
The minister was delivering the keynote address at Petrojam's 2019 Scholarship Awards luncheon held last Friday at the JBDC Resource Center in St. Andrew. 37 top PEP students from the Greenwich All-Age School and St. Andrew Primary were recognized by Petrojam with cash, plaques, laptops, certificates, and educational materials. The Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, JCPD, is being given greater administrative autonomy by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. The Minister of State, Xavier Main, says that under the newly developed regime, JCPD will operate as a body corporate.
What that means is that it will be able to run things on its own. Not that we are saying that they are not accountable to anybody, but what they will be able to do, they will be placed in a position where they are better able to take care of their own affairs in direct consultation with its members.
The State Minister was speaking at the final in a series of public consultations on the proposed Codes of Practice for Employment for Persons with Disabilities. It was held at the St. Mary Parish Church Hall in Port Maria recently. The codes are intended to provide guidance on the engagement and facilitation of persons with disabilities in the workplace. The codes are being developed in accordance with the Disabilities Act, which was passed in the Houses of Parliament in 2014 and will provide practical guidance on matters in the legislation. And finally, 320 children in Westmoreland recently received complimentary school supplies and medical checks during the Child Protection and Family Services Agency CPFSA's annual Western Region Back to School Treat and Health Fair. The annual event was held at the Holy Hill Infant and Primary School in Darlaston last Friday. It catered to 200 youngsters from the school and wider community, as well as 120 children from the CPFSA's Family Reintegration Program. They received backpacks filled with stationery and clothing and were treated to amusement rides, games, and snacks, among other goodies. In addition to fun activities for children, numerous health services such as routine school medicals, blood sugar and pressure checks, and eye screenings were done. Several stakeholder partners also made presentations to the children and their families throughout the day.
It is educating the children about being safe when they're going back to school. We had the person from Ministry of Labour and Social Security Path who shared about the benefits under that program as well. And then we had somebody talking about from PMI, talking about conflict resolution. So those are important things that the children need to know as they get prepared to go back to school.
CPFSA's CEO says the agency will be working to carry out more back-to-school sensitization sessions with other students across the sector. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
I'm there, I work for the fitness, man. No, the fitness, I'm a care fitness, man. I'm paying a tax officer.
Oh. Yeah. Well, you have to run, man.
Oh, respect.
No, man, I mean, you know, for going there, man, you can pay vehicle fitness online.
Yeah?
Yeah, man, THG, make it easy for you now. You know, so we don't have no excuse.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Respect, man. Hey, you still have to work for your fitness doing now.
I'm gonna deal with it online.
Transformation is happening across the public sector. Many services are now available online. We are building a better public service for all. Brought to you by the Transformation Implementation Unit.
Up next, we share with you the latest happenings out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Georges River Bridge renovated. Draft National Spatial Plan to be completed by December, and new housing policy incorporates green building practices for water security. You're tuned into Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan.
So welcoming that you would scarcely believe that this area is going to be the next great tourism area in Jamaica.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness as he opened the newly rehabilitated Georges River Bridge in East Rural St. Andrew. He asserted that with a $21 million renovation, tourism sites in the area would experience even greater traffic. This includes persons who visit to hike, birdwatch, have coffee, or sightsee. Mr. Holness told persons at Wednesday's ribbon cutting that the bridge had been expanded to 36 feet to accommodate 2 large vehicles simultaneously. The bridge has also been heightened to allow for unimpeded flow of the stream that runs below and made sturdy enough to withstand the peculiarities of climate change.
So widening this bridge is important for the access of the people who live in the community, for the agricultural access which is necessary to move coffee speedily to market, access for construction work that is going, for large trucks to move materials, and for the safety of the community, because this area during times of drought and in the summer in particular is susceptible to bushfires, and to have the fire engines being able to move without impediment is also very important.
Mr. Holness also called on motorists to refrain from speeding and to maneuver with care when using the bridge. A draft National Spatial Plan for the island is to be completed by December.
The National Spatial Plan will ensure the optimal use of the nation's land and marine resources and outline the framework for their effective use and management. The plan will therefore provide a strategic spatial framework to guide national development and investment decision-making.
Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Darrell Vaz, was speaking at last Tuesday's opening of the National Spatial Plan Symposium. The function also served as the launch for Phase 2 of the 3-phased National Spatial Plan. This phase will focus on updating the 1978 National Physical Plan and the development of a National Spatial Planning Information Technology Platform.
The NSPIT platform will be accessible to the general public and aims to ultimately provide all the spatial planning database and information to support online application and processing of development applications. All the ministries, agencies, and departments involved in the development processes will therefore benefit from a state-of-the-art and dynamic IT-supported spatial plan.
Development of the National Spatial Plan is a $1.33 million project. It falls under the 5-year $19.8 million adaptation program and financing mechanism for the pilot program for climate resilience. Minister Pernell Charles Jr. last week announced that the island's new housing policy incorporated water security initiatives. Tabled in July, the National Housing Policy provides a raft of new and sustainable measures on home construction and the housing sector as a whole. Minister Charles Jr. said it also called for incorporating rainwater harvesting and storage, as well as green building technologies into all development plans. This guideline will be issued to local planning authorities to be included as a condition of approval for all new residential and commercial buildings. The minister also revealed that government was pursuing multiple long-term solutions to persistent drought. Back at the office of the Prime Minister Tuesday, public sector transformation was the topic of discussion for Prime Minister Andrew Holness. He met with Development Bank of Jamaica Chairman Christopher Zaka, Human Resource and Industrial Relations Specialist Dr. Ward Mills, and National Partnership Council member Professor Alvin Wint. On Tuesday, the Prime Minister also met with recent appointee as Climate Finance Consultant Advisor Anaiti Mills. Joined by Minister of the Portfolio Daryl Vaz, the group spoke about efforts to accelerate climate action on the island. Prime Minister Holness also engaged with the newly appointed Youth Advisory Council members. The members will serve for the 2019-2020 fiscal year. They will improve youth involvement in policy development and programming actions of the state. They are also expected to act as a steering committee for the National Youth Parliament. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us again next time for more news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
This time last week, we celebrated the young people who successfully completed their summer internships arranged by the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF. Today, let's learn more about how this program has been giving thousands of young people useful experience and an opportunity to earn while they're on holidays.
This year, we celebrate 12 years of internship, and it remains a testimony of what leadership, vision, and commitment can achieve. Our vision is pretty simple. It is to empower young people, to nurture them into tomorrow's leaders, to inspire them, and to enhance Jamaica's workforce. We placed 646 interns in jobs this year through 90 organizations island-wide. 283 of those interns were from tertiary level students and 363 was from the secondary level. Our partners comprise government agencies, financial institutions, medical institutions, schools and churches, and other institutions, including our tourism partners.
We deliberately didn't place you at hotels, many of you. So you understand how broad, how extensive, how inclusive tourism is, how deep and wide the value chain of tourism is, and how when you train in all these other disciplines, you are really preparing yourself to give service. And so the focus of the internship program is about customer service and service excellence.
This year was a new year for us because we imparted a new part of our program, and as such we had 13 orientations island-wide where we sought to train our interns in detailed customer service and also etiquette on the job.
So you can move with that anywhere in the world you go.
It really helped. This year I noticed I didn't have much to do in terms of grooming and so on and so forth, because they came, and I think it's because of the 2 days workshop, they were ready. I am proud to say also that from the internship program, we have employed 2 persons. One in the administrative area and one in the clinical area.
And what has happened is that you have been made to have a very practical and hands-on appreciation of the moving parts, the many moving parts that must come together seamlessly to create the tourism experience that we sell to the world. And so therefore, when we do these summer internship programs, is to expose you to these areas that are not in the hotel where traditionally you see tourism.
At the end of the program, our interns were evaluated. And as a result of the evaluation, we have our lovely award ceremony today.
We've given you the appetizer in the TEF internship program. Now is your moment to indulge and taste this rich and sumptuous and delectable offering called tourism.
I love waking up every day in this country. This is where I was born and raised. I have such a passion for my country, and for me, this is home. In Jamaica, a lot of people, they look at just like beach, sea, sand, but our mountains are something to behold. It's majestic up there, and it's a different type of peace. It's a different type of lifestyle completely. I could mention many different places that are amazing, but the one thing I do love about Jamaica as well is that you can find that relaxation, you can find that chill in your backyard. Apart from it being an incredibly beautiful country, an incredibly beautiful island, we have a wonderful, wonderful culture, wonderful, vibrant, colorful people. There is definitely a realness to Jamaica. There's definitely something that no matter what keeps you in touch with reality here. Why come to Jamaica? It all comes back down to Jamaica as a whole. The food, the music, the culture, the people, the climate. Come out and meet us, come out and experience what Jamaica has to offer.
Continuing on the subject of tourism, did you know that Devon House was declared a gastronomic center? That's right. And this is all part of government's thrust to capitalize on our vibrant cuisine as a means of attracting visitors to our shores.
This evening we launch the first of hopefully a number of gastronomy centers across destination Jamaica. We selected Devon House to be the start, not only because it is unique in its own offerings. We also selected Devon House because it's in the center of commerce and entertainment and culture in the Caribbean, the city of Kingston.
Gastronomy is one of the fastest growing reasons for people to travel. The World Tourism Organization estimates that the gastronomy market is approximately $150 billion. Boasting world-renowned food and beverage delights such as ackee and saltfish, jerk pork, coffee, and rum, Jamaica is being marketed as a food destination. The Tourism Ministry is serving a platter of treats to foodies. Serving the helpings are gastronomy centers of Jamaica, stops for guests to cook, dine, and be educated on Jamaican food.
We're going to be establishing here at Devon House the first gastronomy club, and we will be building a special kitchen so that dream of putting the first standalone kitchen without a chef, without a cook, without anyone except those who will see to its campness throughout the period. And we will be marketing that kitchen as a location for visitors from across the world to come to Devon House and cook. So you will bring your families on a Sunday afternoon, and we'll be establishing a farmer's market just next door to it, The final thing that we want to do here at Devon House in advancing this gastronomy prototype is to establish a food shop. You move from shop to shop and you just nibble. You just pick and eat different types of cuisine. So you perhaps start with a little rundown. The next shop is jerk chicken. The next shop is jerk pork. The next shop is ackee and saltfish.
It seems a perfect combo. Devon House, built by Jamaica's first black millionaire in the 1800s, has transcended into a haven for ice cream lovers and socialites. Already on site, some 14 eateries featuring local and international cuisine.
I think it's an excellent idea. I think the time has come for that. We serve both Jamaican food, international food, and we also have an Italian pizzeria.
What we do is a thin crust pizza with fresh dough, daily prepared, and we combine it with the Jamaican flavors. So like the Jamaican pizza is ackee and callaloo, or jerk pork, jerk chicken. We also do Hawaiian, pepperoni, so we try to please all kind of buds.
It's a fabulous idea. One, because Devon House has such rich history, and I believe that it's in line with our culture. It's just whatever it is that comes and intertwines together as one. You know, food, culture, music is a lifestyle.
I know it's going to be much more exciting. I believe what the Ministry of Tourism have done so far in terms of the improvement on the property is just amazing, and I just know it's going to get better as it goes along. The other retail shops that are here is also a wonderful combination. The atmosphere is great. We love it for Rev Jewelry and Accessories because it lends to the energy and the synergy of what we have to offer. So I'm very happy about this move.
It's an absolutely amazing idea. If we can bring gastronomy and market that as a tourism destination, or as a tourist choice rather, that would be amazing.
The thought of persons in Jamaica and all that has always been, why is our food not more out there, Why isn't that more people coming just for the food? So, with the minister's vision, it was really about putting that plan into reality.
So happy that the minister has been able to fuse food across the world, Jamaican with Chinese, Jamaican with Italian, Jamaican with Indian, Jamaican with French. Any cuisine across the world, we can fuse it with some of our jerk seasoning or some things that are synonymous to Jamaica.
We are particularly happy at this initiative by our minister. The more people that utilize Devon House to come there for different experiences, it means that Devon House will be more self-sufficient in generating funds for the upkeep and maintenance of this heritage site.
When you create a gastronomy center, create an opportunity for not just locals. The locals already understand Devon House, but the tourists that may come, it may attract visitors from the cruise operators, because it's a big deal. And I think it's something that we need to push and drive, because the history and culture of Devon House actually fits very well with the new model, the new proposed model.
As we close the pages for today, we remind you that this and other programs can be viewed on our website, jis.gov.jm, and the JIS YouTube channel. You may also connect with us on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.